Hello there, I'm Aldra Hill, and this is mead making. I've been asked to make, like, cooking videos for ages, so why not start with mead? Something I've never done before and have literally no experience at. But I spent 6 months researching while I was in Australia, because I'm really excited to do it. Now, it's a little bit hard to do on your own, so I've decided to bring a special guest, Olivia. That was terrible, but it was great. I'm keeping it anyway. Don't expect this to be really professional. This has not been June Babish, though I probably will segue into a beautiful voiceover with a really crystal clear even voice now.
Like this.
Okay, first of all, we have Yeast and Go Firm Protect. This is US 05 yeast. The packet is definitely somewhere. It was right here the whole time. US 05 yeast. This stuff is typically used for beer to make pale ales, and the rest I'm using a really basic starter recipe, so that's just what I'm going to do. This is, how much grams? 2.3 grams of yeast to 6.6125 grams of Go Firm Protect. This is like a healthy dose of vegetables, or maybe like baby formula mixed in with mushy peas to get the yeast started. So we're going to just chuck this in. So we're going to pour in our water, which is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're going to give that a really good stir.
This was for the honey.
Doesn't matter. It's all going together anyway. You should get all the clumpy bits out of there. Stir it slowly. I realized it probably would better do with a fork. It's too late now. Awesome. So what this does, we are rehydrating the yeast. You have to do this. That's getting really bright in this now. You have to rehydrate the yeast because otherwise you're going to start suffering crap yeastification, an official scientific term, I assure you. So this is just like when you're making bread, which I'm sure everyone else does all the time.
It smells like that stuff you put in milkshakes.
This means that the yeast gets a good chance to actually wake up and start making alcohol and, fun juice a little bit earlier. And also means it stays alive longer, thus producing more beautiful, beautiful alcoholification. Okay, that's good enough. So this now sits still for 10 minutes somewhere else. Goodbye. You're gonna hold that spoon for a long time.
Okay.
We have to sit here for 10 minutes. No, we don't. Right, next step, we have our carboy. This is 1 gallon. It's called a carboy because, I don't know.
It's a boy in a car?
It's a boy in a car. Oh, it's got some goo in the bottom. I'm just gonna empty it out. There we go, it's clean now. Well, it's been sanitized heavily in official sanitizing liquid, which is really cool. Don't wash anything out that you use. Like, you shouldn't rinse it with water because your water, because some tap water likely contains weird stuff like trace elements and calcium and especially chloride. So we use a sanitizer and it actually dissolves into the must itself and doesn't cause any acidification or problems. So we are going to mix in a quantity of honey that I have forgotten. Don't worry about any of this because we'll just be edited out.
Okay.
Don't even have to worry about the camera, I'm just gonna edit it. It is 3.5 pounds of honey. That's disgusting.
Put it in the dishwasher if it's disgusting, don't leave it there. Well, just put it somewhere so that I know it needs to be cleaned, not back where it was before, my point.
Just leave that there for a little while. Okay, I looked it up, it's 4 1/3 pounds. So, no it's not. It's a quantity. 3.5 pounds, but it's 4 1/3 cups, using my very crappy plastic cup measurement.
It's 23.
It's 4 1/3 cups. So we're gonna use our heavily sanitized funnel, which we're gonna place into the top of the carboy. Hello. And then we're going to bring in our honey. We are using Hilltop honey, raw British blossom honey. The key is to use raw honey. Raw honey means it has not been heated. Generally speaking, most commercial honey makers will not cook, but bring the honey up to a decent temperature. That way it runs much smoother, it's like liquid, and that way they're able to filter out more of the stuff. So raw honey can contain small pieces of bee particulate and pollen particulate that does nothing to the mead itself. It just makes people kind of squeamish, but we all eat it. We're eating honey, we're gonna eat bits of bees. That's just how it is. I think anyway. So we're adding nutrients ourselves, so I guess you could just do this with just any old honey. You can do it with like Rouse honey or whatever, do whatever, but this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get 4 1/3 cups into this. I got a trusty spoon stirrer here.
Okay.
That's kind of covered in yeast crap.
Yes, it is.
Maybe just scrape it out of there.
So convenient.
Let's just go rinse that. Alright, so now we're just gonna get that little stir from me. Oh, it's beautiful, because the problem is honey clumpifies, and it clumpifies very easily. Now my concern, yeah, I got some concerns. My concern is that I'm gonna measure it out in cups. The volume is gonna be different because it is clumpified. I did heat this in a bowl of near boiling water for about 20 minutes, but it didn't really help. So it's still very runny. So that tells me that this is not gonna be correct. I'm gonna have to use a weighing machine. How are we gonna use a weighing machine?
Might be big enough.
Can't use this.
Right.
I don't know, we could just use this. We're now using this. Now it's broken. Alright, there we go. Oh, I turned it off! I turned it off! Cool. Christ. Right, so now we're gonna put 3.5 pounds of honey into the thing. This seems like a terrible plan. Yeah, just scoop it in the cup. Better yet, an easier idea. Oh, that's delicious. There's gonna be a mess. We're just gonna accept this. And then use the spoon to scrape it into this. Maybe you hold this and I'll use the spoon. This is gonna be a very slow process. Okay, so, the more weight that's on it, the faster it'll go. Look at it, look how granular it is. Raw honey can tend to be very granular. Halfway done. Oh, touched my hand, it's ruined now. You know, a part of me now thinks maybe I should have checked how much was in this. And if it's exactly what we need.
I didn't say.
That's distressing.
Where's the lid? Let me look for the lid. The lid's blank.
Yeah, this doesn't say anything.
The lid doesn't say a thing.
Wow, it doesn't tell you.
Who says it's even honey?
It does not tell you how much is in this.
This might not have come from a bee.
That is very stupid, but we'll find out. It's probably going to be pretty much all of it now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, this would be a lot easier. Right? Look at that, it's so much easier. Oh yeah. Look at it go. It's 3.5 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
How many ounces is
That's just what I was going to say. It's 14 ounces to a pound. No, 16 ounces to a pound, 14 ounces to a stone. So, 14 pounds to a stone.
Should I just check this?
It is. It's 16 ounces. Check.
How many ounces in a pound?
The answer is 16 ounces.
16 ounces! So, 3 pounds and 8 ounces.
Yeah, so keep going.
Perfect. It's a little bit too much, but that's okay. Well, now there's not enough honey here to do anything else with, so I'm just gonna eat it. It's crunchy. Why is it crunchy? That's very tasty, though.
I don't really like honey very much from the time.
I don't really like honey, says the mead maker. That's really sweet. My teeth hurt.
Yeah, well.
Now we gotta...
Wait a while.
Well, an easier way to do this would be to just pour this in.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that does nothing. It just sits on the top. Is it filtering down? I'm gonna use the spoon. If we mix the water into it, it gets a bit, like, wetter, right?
Right. I think this is why I failed chemistry.
Is it chemistry?
Well, I feel like it is a little bit, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess this is chemistry, but
Yeah.
not
Well, it's not biology, is it? Could it be physics? The speed that things move?
This is physics. This is physics.
Yeah, I failed that one as well.
Do you only have one science GCSE?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's not good for your future doctor career.
Yeah, but I have a real degree, so.
Oh! Yeah, I don't have a real degree. This is tragic.
It's gonna take about an hour to kill.
It's a good thing you made the lasagna at first. We're doing like a whole cook day. We're making lasagna. We're gonna make burritos. And I was thinking,
I think we're making burritos.
oh god, we've already got the stuff here.
We've got to make the burritos. We have to. We've opened stuff.
Yeah, and I was saying like, oh, let's do the mead first. I'm super excited for the mead. And it's like, maybe we should do the lasagna first because it's gonna take a long time. I'm like, no, that's fine. But you know what? Olivia was right. I did the lasagna first. It was definitely the right move. Yeah, there we go. Now it's getting runnier. Problem is, this
quite
is
disgusting to watch.
Yeah, there we go. We're mixing it together.
Between the colour and the texture of this, it's not appealing. Ah, look, it's pouring through perfectly now.
Oh, yes!
You've done it.
I did it! I'm a freaking genius! Oh my god, he did it!
Well, that's an hour of my life I get back.
Alright, now we're gonna fill it all the way up, hold it super steady. Try and not smack you in the face. Too much. This is spring water, by the way. Next bottle. Yeah! And leave a little space for the other stuff. We're gonna pour this in as well, which is our yeast mixture. And that is gonna be our mead. Now, the fun part, look at the layering. The fun part is we gotta somehow mix this. Now we have a couple thoughts. One, we can just shake it, which is hard. It's like 10 straight minutes on, like, we put a stopper in it. That's just a stopper. I don't quite know what this thing is. It came in my kit. I don't know if it's important. Yeah, this isn't stop right now. What? It up a little bit. I was meant to change the temperature of my must. Oh well, too late now. So push the bubbler into the bung with a twisting action. The bubbler into the bung. So let's give this a shake.
Well, it says don't shake it.
That's after you've done everything. You should definitely shake it. I mean, look at this thing. Now, one thing we could do is we could use a screwdriver with something stuck to it. You know, I do actually quite like that idea. Too loud for you?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? Try being right next to it. Oh, it's really tiring on your arms.
Right.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna pour some of this into here.
Okay, why?
Because then we're gonna stir it again, but this way it'll get much more aeration. So what this is doing, so first of all we wanted to mix it, but also it's the oxygenate, we're going to aerate it with oxygen. The reason for that is in the first two phases of the yeast's life, the yeast needs oxygen to reproduce. We want the yeast to exist. And to exist it needs oxygen and it needs sugar. So for the first stage, 2 stages of its life, it needs to eat up or breathe the oxygen, eat up the sugars, and it's going to use that to breed and make more yeast. Then, when all the oxygen is gone, it will enter into anaerobic respiration and it will utilize just the sugars. And that's the process that makes alcohol. And that's what we want. Now we're gonna mix the next one. Don't slide it, because it could hit a wet patch and go whoosh, and all of our suffering would have been for naught.
I've still got this one.
So loud.
Is that it?
And then I'm gonna touch up a bit more on this one. And then we're gonna mix it in and give it a final, pour back in and give it a final mixing just to reincorporate it. Okay. Put it in, you know what you're doing. Go. Funnels are useful. Save a little bit in there. There we go. Oh dear.
Uh-oh, it bubbled over.
It bubbled over because that means there's more oxygen in it than there was before.
Oh, I'll clean that.
Now we'll give it a little mix, just to make sure it's all hunky-dory.
I think that's enough dry.
That's enough drilling. This is now a must.
Now what do we do to it?
Now, we bung it up. We put the bung in the hole with the things and the stuff. So what we're doing is we're putting the little blocker, and then what this does, this allows, let's move the closer on the camera. So this basically what you do is you fill it up with water, put a little bit of water in here, and then that it acts as an airlock, but it still allows carbon dioxide gases to go out, basically. Okay, and we put a little bit in there. Why you no fill up?
Started to come in, and then it stopped.
How very rude. It should be filling up. Maybe we should take it out and.
There you go.
There we go. A little bit more in there. Kind of want to be. This is all in there. Gonna be a little bit more. Just a tiniest bit. This is fun. That's a little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot. Okay, we have this ready. But before we do anything now, I want to check the gravity. Yeah. Jesus Christ. This is a beaker, and this is something called, don't drop it me, a hydrometer, which is a weighted stick. This purpose is to, when dropped into a vial of liquid, will tell you what the density of it is in terms of gravity. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give this to Olivia. She's not gonna drop it because she's smarter than I am. And then I'm gonna stick this in there, fill it up with my must. This can just be chucked back in because I've sanitized this. So we're just gonna keep filling this up. So now we're gonna drop the hydrometer in. And what it does is it floats back up to the top. Can't quite see it in the camera, but this is what it does. It floats back up to the top, and then we are able to see the gravity of it by what it's at. So what this tells us, it is at 1.000 Is it 1.17 or 1.07? They just left. Oh god. Okay. So is it 1. Yeah. So it is at a bit above 1.10. So it's about 1.10. So we're just gonna give that to Olivia. Check the recipe, which is on the tablet. So the target original gravity should be 1.126. Currently, it is not there. This is very difficult to read. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just gonna write it down anyway. It's at the 17 line. So we need to write this down.
Well, before I remember that, I'm going to write it down, but we don't have these notes in our hand.
At the 17.
17.
Then, you can just pour it right back in. Because it's all sanitized. A little bit from me. It tastes delicious. It tastes like honey water. Would you like to try?
I'm good.
With a little hint of yeast. That is mead. We're gonna bung it up and we're gonna leave that for 24 hours.
8 p.m.
At 8 p.m. tomorrow, what it should see is we should see it leave the lag phase, which is where the yeast is rehydrating, and when it's finished rehydrating and started eating the sugar and consuming oxygen, it'll start to breed. Once it has done that, it will enter its first phase and second phase. I can't remember the name of it. But regardless, at 24 hours, I will be adding a small amount of DAP, which is dimonium phosphate, which is like an energy drink for yeast. And I will also be adding a small amount of Fermade O. And Fermade O is basically dead yeast hulls, which is a natural source of nitrogen, which is what yeast lacks. It's the main end nutrient that you need to make mead, because there is no yeast, obviously no yeast. There is no nitrogen in honey that it can use. So, that's it. We're gonna be back in 24 hours. We'll film it, probably. Yeah? And we'll take a look at the nutrients, and we should start to see some bubbles popping out of here soon.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been an interesting experiment, but I do hope you enjoyed it. I did not actually record the nutrient additions because I suck, but what I did do is record another video about 3 weeks later, which is the racking and also the bottling. And I'll show you guys a little secret picture of the mead as it's finished just now. But for other than that, you're going to have to wait until next week to be able to see the next video of this little mead series. If you have enjoyed it, do be sure to leave me a like and a comment on the video. Let me know what you think of this. If it's a bit weird, let me know. I've had a lot of fun making this, but I apologize if it's not quite what you're used to. And I do hope this encourages you to make your own mead. I was Aldra Hilton, I continue to be, and I don't know what this has been, but it's been sweet. Bye-bye.